The WH-347 form is a weekly certified payroll report template for contractors to use on projects subject to the Davis-Bacon and related acts. While the use of the form itself by contractors is optional, it contains information that is required to be maintained under the Davis-Bacon Act, and its use can ease the payroll process. The form was recently revised, and knowing how to properly complete the form with the changes in mind is key to verifying that you are compliant with the DBA payroll reporting requirement. We'll be walking through the major differences side by side and how to complete each section within this video. The basic information section, containing basic information about the contractor, project, and payroll, have taken a new table format. All information on the old form still remains on the new one, with the new addition of the wage determination number. Underneath the wage determination number, DBA projects have a wage determination set for the project, which is a list of applicable wages and fringe benefits for all trades that would be on the project, dependent on factors like the contract award date and project location. The wage determination number would be the general decision number found at the top of your wage determination page. The remainder of the information on the basic information section includes the project name, the project location, which should include the address of the project site, the project number or contractor number, the certified payroll number. This should be a sequential number for the week submission. For example, if this is the first payroll, the certified payroll number would be 1. For the following week, it would be 2, and it would continue throughout the length of the project. The next box is the week ending date. This is the date of the last day of the recorded pay period. For example, if a payroll week ran from February 10th, 2025 to February 16th, 2025, the week ending date would be February 16th, 2025. The prime contractors / subcontractors business name would be your business name, and the prime contractors / subcontractors business address would be the address of your business location. Next is the employee information section. The information under column 1 of the old form has been broken out into separate columns of the new form. The number of withholding exemptions column from the old form was removed, and the journey worker and registered apprentice column and worker entry number columns were added. For the journey worker and registered apprentice column, write in J if the employee is a journey worker. Otherwise, you would write in RA if the employee is a registered apprentice, meaning they are undergoing an apprenticeship program with a registered institution. For the worker entry number, you would list the sequential number of the employee listed. For example, the employee listed in the first row would be entry number 1, the second would be entry number 2, and so forth. The remainder of the information maintained in this section includes the worker's last name, the worker's first name, the worker's middle initial, the worker's identifying number. This would be a unique identifier, such as the last 4 numbers of their social security number or an employee ID number, and the labor classification. This would be the classification or trade title, as it correlates with the one listed in the wage determination. Examples of this include carpenters, electricians, operators, and others. Our next section is going to be the workweek hours. All areas under this section remain the same across both forms, with a few slight positioning adjustments of the straight time and overtime hours. First, we see the days of the workweek. At the top, we would include Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday as it appears within your payroll week. And on the bottom, you would include the corresponding dates. Work weeks aren't required to occur on a Monday through Sunday structure and would follow the date range of your pay period. Next is the hours worked each day. You would list the straight time hours, which are the number of hours worked at a regular, non-overtime rate for each day. And beneath it, you would list the overtime hours, which are the number of hours worked past the straight time rate for each day. And finally, you would include the total hours worked for the week per employee. Our next section is the payment section. All areas from the old form were maintained with the addition of two new columns, the total fringe benefit credit column and the payment in lieu of fringe benefits column. Under the total fringe benefit credit column, you'd include the total gross fringe benefit credit earned across all hours worked within the week. For example, if an employee is earning $20 in fringes and they work 30 hours in the week, then this number would be $600. If they are receiving a payment in lieu of fringes, like through the form of cash, then you would list the cash amount the worker earned instead of the fringe benefits. This is separate from the base rate earned in cash. The remaining fields include the hourly wage rate paid for straight time, which includes the hourly straight time rate that the worker is being paid, and overtime, 1.5 times the base hourly rate. Next is the gross amount earned, which is the sum of all earnings across the base hourly rate and fringes for the project. Then, the gross amount earned for all work, which is the sum of all earnings across the base hourly rate and fringes for all projects this employee is contracted on that would reflect the pay stub. Next are the deductions for all work. First, we have tax withholdings, which would be all applicable taxes, including those that are mandated federally, locally, or statewide. Next is the Federal Insurance Contributions Act, which are the federal Social Security and Medicare contributions. And finally, in the other box, you would include all other potential deductions specifically authorized by the employee. This is a major key in this section. Having proof that deductions were authorized by the employee are key to include within your payroll records. If the amount is specific to a single deduction, it must be described under the additional remarks on page 2 of the form. If there are several deductions under the other category, like other forms of life insurance, health insurance, or pension, then an addendum must be submitted that itemizes each deduction with a description and amount for each. Next are the total deductions, which would be the sum of all deductions, and finally the net pay to the worker for all work, which would be the actual dollar amount paid to the worker for all hours worked across all projects during the week. At the very bottom of the page is the notice and public burden statement. The statement at the bottom of the page has been revised, but the basis of the content includes the requirement to submit payroll weekly, the requirement to include all required information on payroll, the requirement to sign a statement of compliance noting that payroll is accurate under penalty of perjury, and an acknowledgement of the time commitment required to complete the form. The second page of the form received a complete revamp. Both versions contain a statement of compliance, but the second version separates the statements with certifications of proper payment, accurate payroll and obligation to supply records, work performed, apprentices, fringe benefits, and deductions. First, let's take a look at the authorized certifier information. Here, you would again list the project name, project location, project number or contract number, the payroll number, the week ending date, the prime contractor's or subcontractor's business name, and the certifying official's name and title. This would be an individual who should verify that they were given authorization by a party to certify all information included on the payroll report. Their name and title or position should be written in. Next are the certifications. The line at the top reads, "I paid or supervised the payment of the laborers or mechanics working on the above project during the stated time period. I certified the following." Then the following boxes would be confirmations that the payroll was completed with these boxes in mind. Box 1 is a certification of proper payment. Box 2 is a certification of accurate payroll and the obligation to supply records. Box 3 is the certification of work performed, and Box 4 is the certification of apprentices. If apprentices are employed during the work week, the programs that they're registered under, the body that the program is registered with, the OA, DOL's Office of Apprenticeship, or SAA, State Apprenticeship Agency, and the name of the labor classification that the apprentice is working underneath should be listed in this section. If this isn't applicable and you are not utilizing apprentices, then you can leave the box unchecked and enter not applicable under the blank sections. Box 5 is the certification of fringe benefits. If you're claiming an hourly credit for contributions to benefit plans, funds, or programs, this box should be checked with the following information completed: the name of the worker, the fringe benefit name, the fringe benefit type, the plan number, whether it is funded or unfunded, the hourly credit, and the total hourly credit. Per the Department of Labor, if more than 6 bona fide fringe benefits are provided to the workers for which the contractor is claiming a credit, then they must submit an addendum for each, providing the information requested in this section. Finally, Box 6 is the certification of deductions. Lastly is the additional remarks and signature. Here, you can include any other context that may help supply evidence for the information listed on payroll. This is an optional space for additional information on deductions, hourly cost of fringe benefits, or explanations. And finally is the signature of the certifying official, the date, the telephone number, and email address. The statement of compliance must be signed by the contractor or subcontractor, or their agent who paid or supervised the payment of the workers under the contract during the weekly time period covered by the form. Next, enter the phone number and email address of the individual who is signing the statement and the date signed. Legally valid electronic signatures are acceptable. A legally valid electronic signature includes any electronic process that indicates acceptance of the certified payroll record and includes an electronic method of verifying the signer's identity. Please note that photocopies or scanned copies of signatures do not satisfy this requirement. Verifying that all boxes are filled correctly to remain in compliance with the Davis-Bacon Act is only part of the compliance process. Having the supplemental documentation to prove that everything reported on the payroll form is the major key to confirming that prevailing wage payments have been met. Verifying proper completion for several weeks of payroll and a wide range of employees may be difficult, and enlisting a team to assist in reviewing documentation would alleviate the stress of reviewing paperwork. We'll put you in touch with a team of prevailing wage experts who can meet you where you're at with your current needs.
Thank you for watching this video. If you need further help or have prevailing wage questions, feel free to give us a call or reach out to us through our website. You can also follow us on our social media platforms for any future updates. Here at Alliant, we'll help you get compliant.